How I got over my first GF after we broke up during the most painful period. I'm 19. The last 2 years of my life feel like a blur, like I've been running on autopilot, caught between love, loss, and responsibilities I wasn't ready for. I met her in high school. We started as friends, became best friends, and then lovers. In the beginning, everything was perfect, smooth, and effortless. But perfection doesn't last, does it? She had strict parents, just like me. She didn't even want our friends to know about us, though they all figured it out eventually. I didn't care. I was happy just being with her. But a month into our relationship, I found out about her past. She had been in a relationship before, with a guy much older than her. He was manipulative, abusive. He did things to her that made my blood boil. He had her trapped in a cycle of fear, controlling her even when we started dating. She was still in touch with him, and at first I didn't understand why. But then I learned about the threats, the way he used self-harm and suicide as weapons to keep her bound to him. She had just barely escaped when she met me. For months in, I learned the full extent of her pain, not just from her ex, but from her father's friend, even her own brother. I couldn't believe the things she had survived. My mind ached, as if I had lived her pain myself. I wanted to destroy every person who had hurt her. I wanted to save her. And in doing so, I lost myself. I stopped focusing on my studies. I lost my discipline, my drive. I thought she was out of my league at first, but after everything, I just wanted out. Still, I couldn't leave. She promised she'd try to be better for us. She did try, but something always felt missing. She loved me, or at least she said she did, but I never felt it. I planned all our dates, initiated all our moments, carried the weight of making her feel safe and comfortable. She started healing, becoming happier, but I started to change. I became aggressive, short-tempered. I had spent so long listening to her pain that I forgot how to express my own. Whenever I tried, she wouldn't understand. So, I stopped communicating altogether. The expressive guy I once was turned into someone bitter and resentful. And I hated it. I hated her for it. But I couldn't say it out loud. After school ended, I had no choice but to shift my focus. I was the only son. I had to do well. She understood, or at least she seemed to. We both started putting in less effort, and somehow, that made things feel more stable. Just okay. And then my father passed away. I was alone with my mother when it happened. I took him to the hospital, called my siblings, most of whom were abroad, and then watched as everything fell apart. While mourning him, I was still thinking about fixing my relationship. That's how lost I was. After the funeral, everyone left. I was alone, left with a broken mother, an empty house, and a relationship I no longer had the energy to fight for. So I ended it. At first, she refused. Then she found out I had made a female friend, something I had never done throughout our entire relationship. She thought I had moved on already, that I had been waiting for an excuse. She thought she was my rebound. At the same time, she lost her grandfather. She was grieving too. It was all too much. We went no contact in November. Then in December, I broke it. I begged her to listen to me, but she didn't want to hear it. She told me I was too egoistic, too selfish, that I only cared when it was convenient for me. She told me not to come back into her life and ruin it again. Then she blocked me everywhere. And that was it. Since then, I've been preparing to leave for my studies abroad. I got a scholarship. I'm waiting for my visa. Everything happened so fast. Too fast. I never got to grieve my father. I never got to explain myself to her. I don't know if I ever will.